Okay, so round 2, Thursday night Spitball. Thanks everyone for joining us and watching. We've got Jarret is here right now. On Tuesday night, he decided to fuck off and leave the two of us, Ben, to fend for ourselves. Ultimately, didn't land on a single movie.
We had to ad lib.
I don't know why we called it Spitball.
No, not one gob of spit.
Okay, so just to reiterate, we've actually pre-selected where our Spitballs is going to land because it's a Halloween sort of themed week. Jarret, do you want to go first, just in case you drop off on us prematurely?
Yeah, totally. Okay, so the one I've picked is Lair of the White Worm. Have you guys seen this movie?
Can you please throw your Spitball?
Yeah, oh yeah, sorry. Okay.
Maintain the fiction, please.
Oh, it's like a boomerang. It came right back. Oh wow! Look what it's landed on. Lair of the White Worm. Now this is a movie from 1988, directed by Ken Russell. And what a fantastic film! I mean, it's got one of the earliest roles from Hugh Grant in it as well. But I remember seeing this film when I would have been probably 9 at the time when it came out on video. And I was just blown away by it. I don't think as a 9-year-old I understood any of the sexuality in the movie, but the visual nature of it, having all the stop motion sort of animated stuff, all the prosthetic effects, like the serpentry effects, the costume design, and just the real off-kilter sort of feel about the film was just something I adored. And it didn't feel too dissimilar from Beetlejuice, which at that time was one of my all-time favourite films that come out the year prior. It's this really absurd, sort of comical, kind of comedy horror sort of thing. But as the years went on and I revisited this film over the years, clearly I kind of really understood the sexuality of it. And I mean, everything's phallic in this film.
Yep.
But it is hilarious. And it is just, it's perfectly Ken Russell, but it's probably Ken Russell, in my mind, at his most accessible.
Yes.
Gothic was still, there's humour about Gothic, but at the end of the day, it is still very art house driven. Whereas Lair of the White Worm is very cheeky and, I don't know, it's a film that could appeal to, exploitation fans and not just art house.
And looking back on it, it's got a cast that's entirely recognisable today, so it's sort of easy to get hold of. Yep.
Amanda Donoghue as well.
I was going to say, does Amanda Donoghue gets naked in this film, right?
Yes, absolutely. Pretty much everyone but Hugh Grant get naked in this movie for the most.
Because I honestly, I've been racking my brain since you brought this film up to try and think of a film where Amanda Donoghue is in it but doesn't get naked, and I can't think of one.
Starship Troopers 3.
Okay.
I don't know if that counts as a film. Isn't that the animated one? No.
Live action.
Is that the brain? Is that the Brain Bugs one?
No, this is it's the 1, 2, and 3 are all live action, and they're produced by Paul Verhoeven.
Yeah, but there is an animated one. There's an animated
number
one.
4, number 4 and 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
anyway.
but one of the sequels is it's like a brain bug, where it actually chews its way into the commanders' heads and they become like
zombies,
like zombie kind of like automaton.
Yeah. Oh, that's part 2, which sort of felt like a pitch black kind of storyline.
Right. Because I think it's like, is it the, because in Starship Troopers, there's where they go to the outpost and Marshall Bell or whatever his name is the commander. They find him hiding under the desk and he's seen like the brains being sucked out of all these other men and stuff like that. He's gone kind of crazy. Is the second one the kind of that story? Is it that?
No, it's like a standalone story where it's just a squadron that is trapped out on the battlefield in a cave, and the whole film.
It's what's his name too? It's the guy who looks like Marshall Bell though. He's the kind of he's like a kind of balding guy like Michael Ironside.
Yeah,
he did a lot of TV. I can't remember his name, but
and he's generally always the good guy that turns out to be the bad guy.
In
movies.
Yeah.
Anyway, good one, Jarret.
Yes, Starship Troopers 2.
I only have that one on DVD. And was that like a Magna release or something?
It was a Magna Pacific. Honestly, this Vestron one that came out in the States, I think You can actually pick up the UK one for like about $18 or $19 Australian through Amazon Australia, the UK import. But it looks amazing. Like, you know,
cool.
it's the presentation's terrific, and there's a ton of special features. There's even a commentary with bloody Ken Russell on there. Obviously, it's an archival commentary taken from maybe a Laserdisc release or something. But yeah, it's a really nice release of the film. I think I showed Danny it because she'd never seen it when I got the Blu-ray, and I think it blew her mind because Hugh Grant's never really done anything quite like that since. You know, the closest he's probably come to like Paddington 2, which is amazing.
Or The Gentleman.
Or The Gentleman, yeah.
Or The Gentleman, which is amazing. I mean, that guy's like, what a series of roles that he's landed on. Hugh Grant, like, I've always loved Hugh Grant, even when he got, caught up in that Divine Brown nonsense. And even when he made a bunch of shit movies, I've always had a soft spot for him. But God, like, 2019, 2020, what a year for...
I think you nailed the nail on the head there when you said Paddington 2, because I think that's the movie that kind of redefined where he was going, and he enjoyed that villainous kind of role.
But I also think he's got to that point in his career where he's no longer has the pressure of playing the leading man. Like, he doesn't have to be the love interest in a romantic comedy anymore. So he's got the freedom. He's got the freedom to do character roles. And I mean, who knew, with someone who looks like Hugh Grant actually has those kind of character actor chops.
Totally. He's actually got a new series that's starting on HBO, I think this week. I can't remember what it's called, but it's Nicole Kidman and him as a married couple, which is funny because Danny pointed this out to me. Nicole Kidman's the villain in Paddington 1 and Hugh Grant's the villain in Paddington 2. So we're like, it sounds brilliant, but the trailer looks incredible. So yeah, it's good to see Hugh Grant back up on the screen again. I mean, I probably watch 4 Weddings and a Funeral maybe at least once every year, maybe every 18 months or so, because I think he's just a great, you can just, he's just so charming.
That's me with Notting Hill.
Yeah. Notting Hill. Absolutely. Yeah.
I used to watch Notting Hill on regular rotation, and I don't know why I avoided it for some reason. I avoided 4 Weddings and a Funeral, and I finally watched it like earlier this year, like the start of the year or late last year, and like I absolutely love it. Like it's a phenomenal film. Good. But I'm glad I didn't see it because I love that there are still those movies out there that are excellent that for whatever reason I didn't see, and there's still like you've still got a moment where you can watch one of those films where you get halfway through and you're disappointed because you can never watch that movie for the first time again. Like, I love finding that kind of film.
I love that this Halloween themed episode has turned into freaking 4 Weddings and a Funerals.
This is one for me. I wanted to see this movie since it came out because I've always had a massive soft spot for Ted Danson. And I never saw Cousins. It's a remake of a French film. And this obviously was, the late 80s, I think about 88, 89.
Yeah, back when fucking your cousin was okay.
Yeah, exactly. With Isabella Rossellini in it as well. I only caught this, and Sean Young, because Sean Young's the woman he's supposed to get married to. And Isabella Rossellini's the woman he falls in love with. But I only saw this
that does not end well. As James Woods can attest.
Such a beautiful film, though. Like, it is honestly like a really heartfelt, beautiful movie. It's one of those movies, though, like Ben said, I never got around to, and not many people talk about it, but I watched it and I loved it. I got to check it out.
I was just going to say, as James Woods can attest, ditching Sean Young can lead to
yes,
bad things.
Yeah. Bad things.
I don't know about you guys. I can't wait till Valentine's Day when we can talk about horror movies. Ben, do you want to launch your first and final Spitball?
Yeah, sure. I will.
See that, Jarret? That's how it's done, mate.
Yeah, magically they hit the porn poster, but I am going to talk about this film that I had prepared earlier, Night of the Comet. Inspired by the show this week where I believe you, Jarret, were talking about, now I've gone blank at the name of the film, with the new wave, it was the Monster Club.
The Monster Club. Yeah.
The new wave band playing in the Monster Club. And this film, which is phenomenal, which is all about, it's basically Day of the Triffids, but without the Triffids, where Catherine Mary Stewart and Jim Wynorski favorite Kelly Maroney, and if you've watched any of those Jim Bob Briggs episodes, or her episode on Shudder, you will know all about the nefarious Jim Wynorski and Kelly Maroney. They're sisters who throw a party and fall asleep in a it's a bunker, but it's being used as a cinema, as a dodgy cinema. And the guy who runs the projection booth there is selling black market prints of movies and stuff. And it's of like I think it's of like Fulci movies and stuff. Like it's a really cool little bit. But they fall asleep in this bunker / projection room for the cinema, and when they wake up, this comet has passed over and literally vaporized the population of the Earth. Like anyone who's now like little piles of dust on the ground, except for Jeffrey Lewis and Mary Woronov, who are like in radiation suits on the other side of the planet, on the other side of the country, in like an underground bunker, because they've are conducting secret government experiments trying to revive the human race. And Robert Beltran, of course, because you need a bit. If you've got Kelly Maroney and Catherine Mary Stewart roaming Los Angeles, a deserted Los Angeles, you need a bit of beefcake in there. So Eating Raoul turns up to provide the required beef injection in the film. But they also encounter the other survivors who were kind of, they were inside enough not to get vaporized, but they're still like slowly mutating because the Earth is basically this radiated rock now. And they basically become, and I think this is the first time that you've ever had them in a film, they become new wave zombies who perform new wave music while chasing them around shopping malls and stuff. It is,
what I hate?
An awesome film.
I hate it when they used to attach that rating sticker to the top of the VHS covers.
Oh yeah, the M. M for mature.
It goes at the bottom, people.
Well, this may have been, oh no, it is at the bottom as well. It's there, just in case you missed it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's in case you're just pulling it.
But...
It's in case you're pulling it out of the shelf just a little bit, so you can.
And it's even on the that's right. It's even on the. It's on the tape. I believe it is. It is not on the spine, but it's on the back.
The one place that you want it.
The one place that you need it.
Yeah.
No. They could have put the sticker on the spine.
Yeah.
All right. I love that you guys both had physical copies in your hand, so I'm going to have to be my Spitball, and I'm going to go and land on it. Hang on.
Be the Spitball.
It's a wet one. All right, mine landed on body bags.
Oh, yes.
Oh, body bags.
Which I suspect Jarret
classic.
can probably talk about a lot more than I can, but this is an interesting
I
one.
I watched this movie with Ben last year on YouTube. Like, I mean, I've seen it a million times, but I don't know why we ended up watching it on YouTube, but we watched it.
I can never
trying to watch it twice.
I can never decide if I like it or not.
No, I've had a long sort of relationship with the movie, but I definitely love it now.
Are you like me?
I was disappointed.
I kind of feel like when I'm not watching it and I think about it, I really like body bags, and then I put body bags on, and I'm like, well, I don't really like this.
Some of the stories are stronger than others. Like
I like the thread. I like the John Carpenter mortician thread. That's
he
cool.
really wants to be an actor. Like it's like a he's really given 110% as the as the mortuary tenant. Yeah, I love the service station one. The one I don't like, which is one that a lot of people love, is the James Keach, or the
Stacey Keach one.
Stacey Keach one with the hair.
That's the one. Like, I never liked that one, but when we watched it last year, I actually liked it. I think I finally come around on it, but I never liked it.
Actually, and even the Mark Hamill one,
down,
doesn't his hair follicles have little teeth on the end of them?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Ben. I like the gas station one with Robert Carradine. That's really cool.
Yeah,
but I do like a good axe murder kind of story.
And aren't the other people who turn up to the gas station, aren't they like Toby Hooper and
there's lots of cameos.
There's lots of cameos.
And for people that don't know Body Bags, it's an anthology film. We should have sort of started.
It's a real Tales from the Crypt style.
Was it or was it not essentially made as a pilot episode for a potential show?
I think I recall reading that, because that was the weird thing, because it surfaced in video stores. Like, I'd never heard of it. And
the cover art was great on VHS.
Because he's going through like this, like prying through the bag.
Through the bag,
the body bag. But I remember it coming out, and had a big sticker emblazoned on it, and it was something like, you know, exclusive to video, guaranteed not to be on TV for 12 months or something. It was like this big sticker, and I was like, well, that probably means it's not very good because they didn't get a theatrical, and I don't know about this TV business. But anyway, I rented it, and I remember thinking, what the fuck? Like, I didn't expect so much tongue-in-cheek humor about it when I first watched it, but yeah, I watched it over the years, like, many times, and yeah, I really softened to it. I quite like it, yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably my most watched anthology horror film.
I was going to say, it definitely is one I warm to. The more I watch it, the more I do like it. But when it comes to horror anthologies, I prefer them to have more like 5 stories. When they only have 3, that's when it really feels like it's a pilot or something stitched together.
Yeah,
it's even worse when it's only got 2. Quicksilver Highway, you know. Because then you can see through the cracks. You know exactly what's happened there. But
true.
And it's same with like Creepshow when part 2 only had 3 stories instead of the 5. You know, it just sort of takes away something from that anthology concept.
I do like it if they're more but shorter.
Yeah.
Rather than fewer longer ones, because when they miss, they really miss, and you're stuck there.
Yep.
Yeah, you're stuck there for 30 minutes or 40 minutes, and you're like, come on.
Well, that's it. Short. They have to hit the ground running.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, I think that's probably enough spitball for this week. Thanks, Jarret, for landing on Cousins.
Cousins.
Have a great Halloween, you two.
Happy Halloween, gents.
Yeah, happy Halloween.